So let me briefly go over the downloads that I've gotten again. Let me see. If I turn, okay. Try it this way. I'm gonna just turn my Bluetooth off and try it this way. So again, I'm gonna try to briefly go over the downloads that I already shared. So this is actually a good thing. Because yeah, hopefully I can make this shorter and just get straight to the point. So this is the Authentic Empress. So the downloads that I got is about you guys leaving long-lasting impressions on people. Okay, that nothing is, a coincidence. Nothing is for nothing. So anybody that you've connected with in your past, whether this be like family, friendships, associates, people that you dated, people where there was actual titles, whatever the case may be, there's something about you leaving a long-lasting impact on these people, whether months have gone by, years have gone by. Okay, and a lot of this is because there's something here about people cherishing your friendship, people cherishing the fact that you were courageous and brave enough to be honest with them, and not just tell them what they want to hear just because they may have a level of popularity, or just because you want to be associated with them because of who they are, because of what they look like, or because of what they have. But you genuinely cared about them, to be honest with them, to tell the truth. And there's something significant about, people also admiring who you are as a person. And it's more so about the fact that you're real, not only with others, but with yourself. Okay? Whether people was able to define what love and self-respect actually is back then, or once upon a time, especially if you've been a certain type of way for a very, very long time, like for a very, very long time. Okay, there's something about these people gaining this understanding, and memories could have something to do with this. Like the memories that they've had with you, that they've made with you, has a lot to do with these people coming to this understanding of what self-love actually looks like. Okay, and appreciating having people in their lives who are really genuine and sincere. Okay, like having something to compare it to. Like you're being used as I think it was my headphones, but you're being used as something that people can compare to when it comes to the environments that they're a part of, or the people in their lives, or the people that they've encountered throughout their life. Okay, in their social circles, their own family members, okay, their partners, whatever the case may be. Like if these people have been having to heal, or may have settled with people who tune them out, people who overtalk them, people who dismiss their feelings, people who tend to deflect, okay, when they're genuinely wanting some type of resolve, or genuinely wanting to be heard and understood. There's something about their friendship with you, or memories with you, that these people are having like flashbacks, or in this energy of nostalgia, where if such and such, I remember when such and such, I could talk to them about whatever, or like even if I didn't tell them everything, it just seemed like they would say the right things, or they would say exactly what I needed to hear. Like like I never felt like they would kick me when I was down. Like I always felt better after talking to such and such. And like I miss them. Like you got people who miss you, okay, from all kind of arenas, like in life, like including family. Like people miss you because they're realizing, or they've realized and possibly been in a state of denial, or kept being rocked back into denial, that people whom, because of what they have on the outside, okay, because of their titles, because of groups that they're a part of, that desire of wanting to be included with these people is just steadily drifting away, and or it's steadily dwindling, because it's like now that they're on the inside, you know, now that they have these people's approval and stuff like that, it's not what it was. It was definitely giving everything that glitters is not gold. There's something about these people, you know, lacking substance. There's something about people being in search of environments, of souls, of others who have substance, you know, who really have true things to offer that are sustainable on a soul level, you know, mentally, emotionally, okay? Like, yeah, I'm telling you, and you guys are being used as like I'm hearing prototype by Andre 3000, but I guess that's the right term. Yeah. So what I was talking about in the last video was how I had a friend from Virgin Islands some years ago, and we had like naturally hit it off, you know what I'm saying? Like really, really cool. We was really close, really tight bond, very organic. And you know, I remember when this person would come around, because of what they look like, because they're physically attractive, I remember having peers or classmates, you know, they'll be like, oh, who that, da da da, you know, because y'all know most people are at the forefront, you know, we're surface, I guess. Most people are just only surface level. And so there could have been a little energy of sabotage and evil eye, whatever. All I know is when we got to the point where we disconnected because this person started moving in a way that, you know, kind of hurt my feelings. I felt like it was inconsiderate. And now this person has always known and appreciated me for being very vocal about my boundaries, or being vocal about things that made me feel uncomfortable, like just being honest about it. And I remember they were in this energy of kind of shutting me out, and I accepted it. I finally reached this place of acceptance. Like, yeah, you know, it was hurtful, this, that, and the third, but I remember reaching that place of acceptance and kind of feeling like, okay, well, you know, if that's what makes you happy, then cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I knew it hurt me, you know, like I accepted that. So fast forward, you know, this person will reach out to me, like just to check up on me, like temperature checks and, you know, getting a little update. And every time this person will reach out to me, I'm seeing months later, years later, you know, this person will always be in this energy of making sure they tell me like how much they miss me, how much they appreciated me, and, you know, grateful to have gotten to know me. And yeah. And so one of the arguments that we had once before was about religion, was about how we refer to the Most High. And you know, you continuously evolve throughout not only your physical age, but your mental capacity, your emotional competence, your emotional intelligence, your spiritual understanding, comprehension, and knowledge, right? And wisdom. You are supposed to continuously evolve. Not everybody does that. Some people are stagnant, or some people allow others to stagnate them or to pull them downward or descend, right? So I remember when I was just being accountable for the perspective that I had, and the person kind of like stopped me in my tracks and was like, no, I want to apologize. And he basically apologized for what he said was basically weaponizing his masculinity over me in order to silence, you know, my truth, or me from expressing myself. And not only expressing myself, but expressing something that turned out to be truth after he aged, you know, some time, right? So the reason why I'm mentioning that is because even if you guys were in people's lives for a short time, or however way that it ended, if you was putting your best foot forward, okay, like you was being sincere with, you know, how you care about people, like you had this attention to detail, like you would like really process the conversations that you had, not even just the conversations, but just being around this person, learning this person, you know, appreciating their presence and learning things about them, and, you know, moving accordingly just simply because you love that person. Like, you want this person to feel loved and cared for and, you know, seen and heard. People are reflecting on this manner of love that you've expressed with them, because after rejecting, you know, true, sincere, genuine love and care and effort, they had to go through a cycle or several karmic cycles of literally experiencing the opposite. Okay, bootleg versions, watered down versions, you know what I'm saying, or toxic expressions of loyalty and love and connections and stuff like that. And so it's almost like the times that they've shared with you, the friendship, the connection that they share with you, these memories just kind of like double back. And for some of these people in their darkest times, like those moments where you was, you know, shining your light with them, even if they took actions to dim your light, you know, when they was this close to you, I'm telling you, there's something about, I don't know why they're giving me that vision of the light at the end of the tunnel. 1111 is there again. 1111 is 1111 keeps coming out, okay? But there's something about the memories of you kind of being that light at the end of the tunnel for people who are in the dark night of the soul within their lives, okay? And at the time, you know, maybe you did, you know, I feel like in earlier experiences, you know, just because you guys try to be fair, you know, you try to be fair and reasonable as much as you can. You know, maybe there was times when you did consider, okay, well, maybe I am too much, or, you know, maybe I am kind of intense and, you know, whatever, right? But no, you weren't. Like, you was exactly what they needed when you were in their lives for whatever amount of time. You and you're gonna have people come back around to confirm that to you, like, you know, people who are going to thank you. And even if it was delayed, you know, there's people who are going to show their appreciation of the impact that you left on them. Like, yeah, so that's one of the downloads I got. You know, I really feel like I wish I would have heard how I communicated and articulated that in the first video. I feel like it was, you know, way better, but it is what it is. Hopefully the message is out. Another download I have is in regard to people who have been mocking, you know, the trials and tribulations that you've experienced, that they've heard of, that they've eavesdropped, that they gossiped about, you know, that some of them participated in orchestrating and creating for you. These people have to experience those same things. These people are, let me be clear. These people are experiencing these very same challenges, trials, tribulations, tough cycles, whatever, that they mocked, laughed about, gossiped about, planned, okay, whatever. They're having to experience that. And yes, it may be karma, it may be judgment, and it may be justice for us. But all in all, it's supposed to be teaching moments for these people. It's supposed to be edification. It's supposed to be that rod of correction. You know what I'm saying? And these people are learning, or, you know, they're kind of getting that, again, that reality check of, you know, that now they're getting a better understanding as to why you're able to walk alone when necessary. Like, you're able to stand on your own, or why you move that way. Okay, like, people are realizing it's not as easy as you make it seem. It's not as easy as it looks, or, you know, granted, you know, some of these people were really, you know, compromised spiritually, you know, and really operating, you know, out of demonic spirits and stuff. So there is that, what's the word I'm looking for? There is like a level of apathy or like emotional disconnect, because in a lot of cases, these people are hell-bent on what they're wanting to get out of the situation. Okay, like, For example, if this is something to do with a job, if this is something to do with a person, if this is something to do with a position, like these people are more so tunnel vision on obtaining whatever that is that they saw attached to you, where talking about you, mocking you, putting obstacles in your path, you know, served as somewhat of a benefit for them or made things easier for them to obtain. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's neither here or there. At the end of the day, they still gotta go through the shit that you went through, okay? And you know what sucks even more so for them is that they're not armed with the wisdom that you're armed with. They're not armed with the strength that you're armed with. So while they're in these karmic cycles, while they're in these situations and, you know, going through these storms and these fires, not everybody survived the shit. Not everybody's going to survive. You know, some of these people are going to come out, you know, in the way that they hoped and prayed you will come out, because those are their prayers. And so it's out there. You get what I'm saying? It's out there. So it's gonna manifest, and it's not gonna. They didn't get a chance to see this manifest for you. And I don't know if what encouraged them to like keep up that energy was because they wasn't seeing you lose your mind. They wasn't seeing you like crash out. You know, they wasn't getting the results that they were watching and, you know, lurking to see. And the reason why is because, tell me why, for those of you guys who's familiar with Waterfalls by TLC, the music video, the part when it was like, little Precious has a natural obsession for temptation, but he just can't see. She gives him loving that his body can't handle, but all he can say is, baby, is good to me. And something, he looks himself in the mirror and he doesn't recognize his own face. This is what's going on with these people. Like, this is literally how it's going to happen. Like, before they know it, it's like, damn, bro, that shit crazy. This is giving like these people still being obsessing over your energy, heavily focused on you. So much so that they neglect themselves. They neglect their own mental health, their own physical health, their own emotional. I don't give a damn. Like, I don't care if you're attentive to one thing, but you're neglecting other aspects of yourself. It's going to affect everything. So you can be somebody that you can be somebody that work out all the time, but you're neglecting other aspects of your health. Y'all know, like those young people that just drop dead. Those young people, they seem like they in good shape, and then boom, they fall and have a heart attack. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's what's happening. Like, that's what's been happening. Okay, we're not even gonna say that's what's been happening. That's what's been happening. I'm telling you, like, there's people who have forfeited the fruits of the spirit pertaining to God just to be included into something like that old ass trick of glitz and glamour. Or like, y'all know, it's not only individual people that do glamour spells. Like, there's groups and principalities and communities and institutions that also launch and put out glamour spells in order to attract people. I'm gonna tell y'all the download that I was getting last night. Movie production companies, music production companies, anything like that, okay, where there's this glamour of the type of lifestyle that you can obtain if you join us. Like, it's the same concept. Like, just bow down to me and I will give you all these kingdoms. It's the same. It's like, okay, for example, true divine beings, okay, divine feminines and masculines, we're on the side of things where we're doing the deep research. Okay, we're a part of those quote unquote controversial, or what's the other word, we're a part of those conversations, or we're into the content. We're doing the research to find out what lies beneath the surface of most things. Okay, so whereas the average person who wants to be a star and they want to be famous and stuff like that, a good example is we understand the importance of contracts. Okay, contracts in the earthly realm, which are also spiritual contracts. You get what I'm saying? So we understand to read the fine print. We understand that this is a binding ritual. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is a soul binding, thing that we're doing here. We have that understanding. Okay, and so we may take the slow and steady path. You get a quote unquote according to a lot of people, because it's really not slow and steady, but whatever. Because how it ends up working out for us is that we quantum leap, okay? Like, we be in that time travel energy. God would traject and project us. You get what I'm saying? If we make the right decisions with our free will, okay? If we honor our inner guidance and navigational system discernment, right? If we be okay with, getting isolated from the groups and stuff like that, being set apart, departing from evil, you get rewarded from that by the divine, okay? So, for example, you could be a music artist. You know what I'm saying? You can have people who want to offer you a deal and shit like that. And what they put in your face is, we help put these artists on, like, you heard these artists, and we offering you all this money, da 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 da. And most people, they just go ahead and sign because it's a record deal. Just hearing that, a record deal, I got a record deal. They hear that and they just whoo and sign their soul over. Instead of reading the fine print, instead of, understanding that they have the power because they have the gift. And you don't have to just accept any and all cups that's offered to you immediately. Like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like, you understand, you understand the value in owning your own power and owning yourself. So, for example, those artists that we see who, are not signed to anybody, they have their own royalties and stuff like that. Like, you it's in our faces for all of us to see and learn from. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just about what sets people apart, what sets apart the divine beings from people who are just pleasure seekers and that's it, is discernment, patience, doing your due diligence, understanding, comprehension, wisdom. What the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I got this download about this movie production company, bruh. And fuck that shit, because the Boondocks already said something about it. Tyler Perry Studios. I'm gonna have to do a whole nother separate message about that. But I'm telling you, y'all, heavy energy on, you have to sacrifice something. You have to sacrifice someone, something, someplace that you love in order to join us. I'm going to read y'all some of my notes from last night. Because I school myself, okay? I don't just wait till I'm in an actual class and shit. So I'm going to share something with y'all real quick. Okay, I'm going to share this portion about music, the brain, and memory, right? Music bypasses logic and goes straight to the limbic system. That is why one song can make you cry instantly. Trauma survivors remember songs when words fail. People with Alzheimer's can recall lyrics when names are gone. So that's just a little, you feel me? Music is stored in long-term emotional memory, not just cognition. I'm going to tell y'all where I'm going with this, okay? Yeah, that's gonna have to be a whole nother video right there. Okay, listen. Music is vibration made meaningful, sound given purpose. Everything in the body vibrates. Cells, organs, even thoughts carry frequency. Music works because it entrains the body, your breath, heart rate, and your nervous system. Your nervous system begins to sync with the sound. Because I don't want to read everything. I just want to make my point. The body listens before the mind understands. Let me tell you, I'm going to read this little fact right here. So you have low frequencies, which are 20 to 80 hertz. You have mild frequencies, which are 100 to 500 hertz. You have upper frequencies, which are 1,000 to 8,000 hertz. Your voice falls within the spectrum of mild frequencies, which is from 100 to 500 hertz. So boom, mild frequencies, where the human voice lives, strongly affects emotion and identity. Lyrics land here. This is nourishing when honest, melodic, emotionally coherent. It is draining when chaotic lyrics, contempt, objectification, humiliation. Your body processes this as relational information, not sound. Okay? Upper frequencies, detailed clarity or overstimulation lives here. Nourishing when balanced with warmth, draining when sharp, compressed, piercing for long periods. This is why some modern tracks feel mentally fatiguing, even if you like the song. Okay, now there's another thing. Oh my God, look, mild frequencies. Now there's another card. Listen, a we both or all gonna die type of person. I'm telling you, like, there's some people who are like this. Okay, they don't mind taking other people with them or dragging other people with them to destruction. Okay. Anyway, but let's break down a movie production. Okay. I wish I wrote it. I got to do my notes on that too. But I wrote it on a card. Y'all got some people. See, I'm going to pull these index cards last. So I'm going to wait on that. But I want to share this with y'all. For example, casting calls. Casting for souls. Casting is a spell. Souls for sacrifice. Okay. Just saying. Why do they use these words for these things? It's very intentional. But you know, people are more concerned about being it's like Takeoff said, I'd rather be rich than famous. It's the reason why he said it. And you see what they did to him? They killed him. Come on, let me find this, please. It's taking too long. Look, fake friends targeting the golden child friend in their group. A hive mind. Alrighty. Dang, like, is it the last freaking card? Okay, boom. This is a good one, too. So I'm going to put that to the side. So maybe this is one I'm looking for. Okay. Music, which is Greek. Okay. Meaning the art of the muses, including melody, rhythm, poetry, spoken word, dance, movement, memory, learning, and sacred expression. Ordered sound that moves the soul. Okay, which can also just any form of communication, any kind of sound. Okay. The etymology, harmony, proportion, divine order, philosophy, sound arranged to reflect cosmic balance. Spiritual, vibration that carries emotions, intention, and memory. Vibration that carries emotion, intentions, and memories. Regulates or affects the nervous system, awakens emotion and memory instantly, used in healing, ritual, prayer, across cultures. Okay. So again, I'm saying all this to say, and this is one of the downloads that I got. So, what's something of value to be sacrificed if somebody is wanting to obtain some type of fame or supposed level up? What is valuable enough to sacrifice to attain something that you really, 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 really want? What do people end up sacrificing to obtain something that they really want? Their loved ones. Whether that's a man who's lusting after another woman, so he sacrifices his wife and his children, his family. Or, you know, a woman that is glamored by a man's money and materials, and so she sacrifices her family, her children, you know. She sacrifices truly, you know, being an attentive parent and caring and parenting her children properly because and of course, and a lot of these industries, not just entertainment, not just music and movies, but anything that people want some type of inclusion of. There's a lot more people who are weaker to stuff like that than people who are strong enough to turn down an offer. Like, there are more people who are going to accept offers as long as there's a big paycheck, you get what I'm saying, or something glamorous attached to it, opposed to people who are going to honor their integrity. Or there's this show where people who come up with their own businesses and projects and they want to get funding or get approved for funding, and they go and present it to these investors, and the investors, after listening to their pitch, will decide how much they want to invest in the person, right? There was this post, I feel like I shared before, about this young man, and his project was like a multi-million type of like business concept, right? And what they were trying to offer him was some below the belt shit. You get what I'm saying? Like, in essence, they was just trying to take advantage of him. Like, they knew the potential of how much money, you know, yeah, but they was trying to rob him. You get what I'm saying? So if you are not well equipped, if you are not fully informed, if you don't do your due diligence and study to show thyself approved, if you don't do the necessary research, you will get played out here in this world. And that goes for anything. That goes for relations. That goes for your career path. Okay, your creativity, whatever the case may be. I don't even think I want to do... Look, a bond derivative from the motive to cause you to react unhinged. So, people really get themselves compromised when they're out here saying that they believe in God and they love God, and you know, they're divine feminine, they're divine masculine, you feel me, they're a chosen one, all this, right? And when they're presented with some type of offer where they're promised some type of wealth, or you know what I'm saying, it's like they just completely disregard. Okay, let me pray about this. Let me meditate on this. Let me, you know, pay attention to my senses and how I feel in my nervous system, and you know, let me properly discern this, you know, before I just jump into some shit. You know, that completely goes out of the window. And so when people, you know, encounter somebody like you, and whether they witness you while you're going through trials, tribulations, challenges, because you're not bending, you know, your will to satanic means, and when they witness you experience blessings and this, that, and the third, and they hating on it and stuff, it's like you got God's favor surrounds you. I'm telling you, there's this heavy emphasis on, hey, if it's for me, it is. If it's not, it's not. Okay? Like, I'm not sweating it. You know, I'm going to get it one way or another. I'm going to obtain. At the end of the day, I know I'm going to get the desires of my heart. I'm not going to be discouraged or feel disempowered or stop being a kind, you know, person. Stop being, you know, stop believing in that dream or these things that I want to acquire from myself just because of what it looks like right now, or just because of what these people are saying, or how other people are choosing like these shortcuts and all type of shit. Like, it's an illusion. Like, just pay attention. Just pay attention, bruh. Just pay attention. Pay attention to the world around you. Pay attention to the people around you. Pay attention to the ones that, you feel me, take the shortcuts. Pay attention to the ones who took detours. Pay attention to the ones who had to reject some things and what they've gained after. Cat Williams is a great example. Y'all know Cat Williams is creating his own studio, like movie production studio. And just because he's a comedian doesn't mean that his movie production studio is only going to focus on comedic material. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you think about him on a soul level and his reputation, okay, and his care for others and for people and for honesty and integrity, the foundational units of his soul, why would you not want to work if you want to be an actor? Why would you not look into trying to get in there opposed to Tyler Perry Studios, where all these stories that come out about these boys and these men being sexually assaulted? But just because it's popular and it's well known and it's in this place and da da da, blah 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 blah, you're just going to disregard all of that and give your soul over to this principality. And you don't think it's not going to require similar sacrifices? You don't think you're going to run the risk of somebody trying to play in your back? Like, you think all of a sudden, because the same way he is still in business, okay? The same way you're going to have a lot of illusions being casted and broadcasted, and people can, you know, get lawyers, and people can shadow ban people and blacklist people and all these games that they play so they can keep up their bullshit. What the hell make you feel like all of a sudden, okay, my goodness. What I was saying was, can y'all hear me now? What I was saying was that, ain't it crazy how after all these decades and all these years went by, how when Cat Williams decided to speak up and tell the truth and tell his side of things, how it was proven that Steve Harvey basically hijacked his whole story, in regards to his humble beginnings, his trials and tribulations for a come up or a level up. Okay? So, even when he talked about how he was presented, y'all please let me know if y'all can hear me. Even when he was presented certain offers, $1 billion, $1 million offers and stuff like that, he turned it down. Okay? Look at him now. Look at him now. You know what I'm saying? I hate that I'm having to repeat stuff. Oh my God. But I'm telling you, if something feels wrong or feels off about something, honor what you feel. And depending on how keen you are, how intuitive you are, okay, how insightful you are, you have to understand people are going to have to word things in a manner to make it more, you know, add a little more trickery onto it, you know, to get you to submit to some bullshit or to something that is absent of the Most High God. And let's also understand, Lord, God, these are titles, okay? So just because somebody say God does not mean they're talking about the Most High. I'm telling you, That's like somebody saying, oh, Jada, that's my homegirl. My name is Jada, by the way. Jada, that's my homegirl, and they don't even fuck with me, okay? Oh, me and Jada used to kick it, or Jada this and Jada that, and I don't even know them. Jesus this, Jesus that. That don't mean anything, bro. Like, you should not be moving through life without discernment. You should not be moving through life. Something that I always say is that you need discernment in every area of life. Why? Because God said there would be many false prophets. He didn't say that the false prophets are only in the churches or in religion. A false prophet is falsely prophesying something. Okay? The use of deception that persuades somebody to change their behavior, modify their behavior. Okay? That is a false prophet. Somebody who claims to have seen something, who claims to have witnessed something, who claims to know something, and it's a whole lie. That is a false prophet. Meaning, false prophets are not only in religion, they're not only in churches. A false prophet can be in your household. A false prophet can be in the hospitals. False prophets can be therapists, psychiatrists. Oh my God, bro, just look. Oh my God, bro. Look throughout history. The history of a freaking gynecologist. For my ladies who are aware of that. Okay? And what that man did to these innocent women. Okay? And you see how heavy the illusions are to deceive. They put these people in these books. They put these people in these schools. They hang them on the wall to make them seem like they're credible. And if you don't do your due diligence, unfortunately, you're going to be calling murderers, abusers, rapists. You're going to be praising them like they're Malcolm X or somebody. You're going to be calling a murderer a hero if you don't do your due diligence. If you don't do your due research. I'm telling you, bro. Man, listen. This card says, you are never supposed to know or figure out what you know or what you're figuring out. So we understand that's BS, right? That's a lie. But according to these false prophets, the people that they're working to deceive are never supposed to know or figure out the truth about what's really going on. Okay? This card keeps coming out heavily. God's favor surrounds you. And that's how you know. And that's how you figure things out. Through God. Through the Most High. I really didn't want to be here that long. But arranged marriages, for example, right? I understand the cultures. I understand this, that, whatever. But let's really break it down. If we understand that marriage, union, is supposed to be equally yoked. It's supposed to be sacred. It's supposed to be sincere and genuine. Are you strong, brave, and courageous enough to reject somebody or parents trying to arrange a marriage for you, and you know you don't want to be with that person? Or let's say you already in love with somebody else, But they're trying to force you to be with somebody else for some fucking money. Why do you feel like you have to obey that above God? Y'all see like the dynamics, you know, of this world? It's a shame, man. It's a shame. Do you understand? Like, think about how strange that is to not only marry somebody that you don't know, or somebody that you don't really have true compatibility with, you don't have genuine, sincere interest with this person, but because there's some type of money involved or some type of benefit or whatever, you marry this person, okay, for whatever reason, okay? Now you're in a soul contract with this person. Meaning you're not just tied to this person, you're tied to their bloodlines, you're tied to whatever generational curses, you know, is associated with that person. If they haven't done their due diligence, it's a lot that you're signing yourself, that you're binding yourself to. Why would the Most High approve something like that? But because people get pressured about finances, people get pressured by their families, right? They just submit to that. Or they allow people to convince them that it's not as serious as it actually is. Okay? It's giving that you can't say that you believe in God if you feel like this is the only way, you know, to overcome some type of hurdle, is to submit to an arranged marriage that you don't want to really be a part of. But to each their own, you know, it is what it is. It's kind of weird, especially for a woman. It's kind of weird to be put in an arranged marriage with a man that you don't really want to be with or have feelings for, and the idea of this man having sex with you too, like, that's crazy to me. Like, why would God approve something like that? You know, these are the type of thoughts that if people put themselves first and give enough time and grace to meditate upon, you know, they will derive strength, you get what I'm saying, to rebel against bullshit. And you have to be mindful of how people will weaponize the scriptures to get you to conform to something that is unhealthy for you. Like parents who do these arranged marriages. Okay, well, the Bible says to obey your parents. Okay, well, the Bible also says in that same scripture, don't provoke your children. But they always leave that part out, right? Okay. They always leave that part out. It's just so unfortunate. Like, I'm seeing like several different artists and, you know, actress and entertainers like in my mind's eye, and just seeing how their career has aged in regards to the condition of their health right now is really sad to witness. Got mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical fatigue. So there's some people that's in this energy right now. This could even just be tired of like just oh my God, I'm gonna have to come back and do another reading. This is the card I was looking for. And I'm gonna close out after this, because listen to how crazy this is, bro. Movie, music, entertainment. Okay? So this card is about movie, music, entertainment, production companies. Let's break down the word production. Pro, the affirmative side or holding. Okay? Duct, as in abduct, to abduct someone. And then shun on the end, it says an atom or group of atoms that carries a positive or negative electric charge as a result of having lost or gained one or more electrons. Okay, going back to duct, abduct, to seize and take away a person by force. Production, companies. Entertainment, enter, come or go into, right? Begin, to be involved in, is what enter means. Tin, as in tin foil, used for mirrors, the backing of mirrors. Mint means or what the fuck did I write? Means of an action. So you got this card right along with Freemasons, a straight masculine man who is only into biological women. Now, why are these cards out here together? After we mentioned earlier about you're going to have to sacrifice something to get inside this company. And who did I mention? Tyler Perry Studios. What if let's think about what masonry is. Masonry, which you're going to have the light and the dark side of. You're going to have the people who are divine beings, and you're going to have people who are more on the demonic side of things, right, of Freemasons. But a mason and masonry is like building shit brick by brick, like building something, okay? So a production company is a form of building something, like something that you build. Anything, right? So if there's some type of sacrifice that's involved in order to build and continue building something, or you're using a sacrificial base of something, right, or product to continue building whatever this is, the structure that you're building, so that you can level up to the top by what you're building. What if, these different companies, they have their own methods or means of what that sacrifice may be? For example, mental, emotional, spiritual, or physical fatigue. Okay, that could be talking about life force energy. That's making me think about the It movie, okay, and how he feeds off. The only way he's able to consume the children is if the children are afraid of him. But when the children no longer feared him, he wasn't able to consume them. I just, they always want to blind us with these artists and their performances and their shock value. And because now I'm thinking about Meg Thee Stallion. But you mean to tell me, so your mama, who look absolutely fine and healthy, your mama just happened to die after you come up. After you get a deal, your mama just so happened to die. Your mama was doing fine all before then, but when you become, now all of a sudden your mama died. And why is this a consistent pattern with like what? And this is some old shit. Like, y'all know this is old. Like, most of us have been realized that, these people are sacrificing their own family members, okay, for fame. Oh my goodness gracious. Like, it's a coincidence? I don't think it's a coincidence. What if a form of sacrifice is making young girls and young boys hypersexual. For those overly provocative artists, right? What if one of the sacrifices for them to come up is to create a culture of hypersexualized little girls? And for certain masculine artists, what if the sacrifice, or one of the sacrifices, is to cultivate young men and boys who are far more violent, and not just far more violent, but violent towards one another and themselves, or making them or provoking them into drug culture? You know what I'm saying? Becoming drug addicts, alcoholics. Like, what if that's the sacrifice for them to continue leveling up, is to sacrifice almost like this passive form of sacrifice, you know? And the way that they bypass being able to continue doing this is that whole free will argument. Well, their parents shouldn't, you know, allow them to listen to us anyway. But how the fuck can it really truly be avoided? You know what I'm saying? When they constantly play this music and, you know, post them all over TV, you know, these award ceremonies and these provocative ass, you know, performances, and, you know, these quote unquote guidelines are not truly guidelines for real on these platforms. Like it's just, it's crazy. But I will tell you this, I don't care what groups and what normalcy people try to use to avoid accountability for their actions with their free will. Everybody will be held accountable for whatever part that we've played. Everyone will be held accountable in regards to how your life is reflected back at you. It doesn't matter what you gain temporarily. It's an illusion. It does not matter. Something that we always have to be mindful of is how we came into this world and how we're going to leave. So it's not a matter of, oh, you have to settle with poverty, you have to settle with heartbreak. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Follow me. This is a multi-layered warfare that we're dealing with, you guys. Multi-tiered. Meaning there are that side of there's that side of prosperity and abundance and riches and wealth that's directly connected to the divine, right? And there's that side that's directly connected to evil. You know what I'm saying? And the only individuals or people that would try to convince you that the only way to obtain riches and, you know, comforts of life and stuff like that is by means of evil are literally people who are operating out of evil. Oh, God, get me through. Help me conclude this message. Because I want to make myself very, very clear. This is why we are in a world where mind games is a thing. Stonewalling, people ganging up on people, gang stalking, bullying, cyberbullying, abandonment, abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, psychological abuse, physical abuse, trauma, right? This is a multi-level warfare that we're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? It's not enough to study how to defend yourself physically in a fight. You have to study how to defend yourself in psychological warfare, emotional warfare, spiritual warfare. You don't have to, but you should. We should. God didn't say, study to show thyself. Study martial arts to show thyself approved. God says, study to show thyself approved. Study, study, study. Didn't specify, but study. We are well aware and we have enough experiences to know how people war and battle out here on all levels. So do you want to be the type of prosperous, abundant, rich, and wealthy where your soul is free? You're free. You're free. You're not in bondage. Right? You have understanding and wisdom and peace of mind, and you're nobody's slave. Like, what type of wealth, abundance, and riches do you want? You know what I'm saying? You want to make an OnlyFans and be in bondage? Eventually, mentally, or bro, it's just so sad how people try to make very complex, serious things, serious matters. They try to make it very simplistic. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to avoid accountability. If you do an OnlyFans and you sell yourself sexually, okay, it's not a matter of, oh, well, it's just on the internet. It's not like I'm really, you know, whatever, and I'm making this much money, and I'm making money fast. I'm making like millions in 1 month. Baby, we are spiritual beings, energetic beings. And some people who are watching you are straight up demons and warlocks. Meaning, just like people, we should have the understanding by now that people can hex people through videos. People can hex photos. Okay? This is a screen, a black screen. This is a portal. People can bind themselves to you sexually. One of the quickest ways to bind yourself to somebody or create a soul tie is sexually. Meaning, now you got all these strangers pleasuring themselves to you. So think about everybody and their own soul energy, right? Let's think, this person got thousands of subscribers watching their OnlyFans, okay, pleasuring themselves. That's strong, one of the strongest energies, which is sexual energy. What kind of peace can you really obtain from that? You made that video last night. You made that video a month ago. And you still got all these demons and entities tugging on your soul, tugging on your soul, tugging on your soul. You go to sleep. You in a dream state. And people coming up in the dream state trying to fuck you, rape you, all type of shit in the dream state. Because you don't put yourself out there. See, people don't think that deep or think that far. People can download videos now. People can screen record videos. Let's say a decade go by, you feel me? You done gave up OnlyFans. You done gave up porn. But somebody still got that video. So you're still being held in bondage. You're still that person's personal slave. And they ain't got to know you for real. They ain't got to know you personally. Not to say that, you know, maybe it's not impossible for you to do your due diligence to, you know, really create a guard around your energy field and, you know, sever soul ties and all of that. Yeah, absolutely. However, it's going to take a lot, you feel me, It's gonna take a lot. You definitely got to understand it ain't gonna be that simple, and in most cases it's never that simple. It's very complex for a lot of people, okay? And everybody don't make it out. Everybody don't make it out. Some people lose their mind. Some people are depressed. Some people, you feel me, take themselves out. Some people get caught up in some rough lifestyles, okay? Because they can't find any peace. You feel me? They forfeited. That's the difference between prosperity and wealth and abundance associated with the divine, opposed to prosperity, wealth, and abundance associated with satanic energy. That's the difference. There is no rest for the wicked. So you can go on those vacations. You can buy them nice houses. You can do all that. But babes, that's how it go. That's how it go. And it's sad. It's sad. That's why we see or we hear these stories about these people who are so rich and wealthy and they commit they suicide. I'm telling you. They do the same thing that was done to them, to us, okay, to lure us into the same confinement. You feel me? They fell for the glitz and glams that somebody provided to them, okay? And then after they sell their souls and gain these riches, they bombard us with glamour. You get what I'm saying? The same way they fell for the bait. They try to get us to fall for the bait with them. Same ass cycle. Because they're a slave. You're a slave to the shit. You get what I'm saying? And it's really sad. And for those of us who are really tough, they try to beat us into that shit, don't they? They want us to just, oh my God, just they try to bully us into it because we won't back. Now think about, y'all, this is the same shit just repeating itself. Let's go back to slavery. Think about the slaves that refused to submit to some bullshit. Like, you gonna have to kill me. You have to kill me. I'm not calling you. You gonna have to kill me, bitch, or risk getting killed by me. But I'm not doing that shit. And I'm getting the fuck up out of here, one way or another. You feel me? Oh, but you know, I'll put you in the house. And I'll keep you in the house with me. You won't have to be out there in the barn, you know, with them field slaves. I put you in the house. Now, there are those of us. Okay, you can put me in the house, and then we go in the house. You want me to cook you breakfast? You want me to? That what you want me to do? Okay. Like some of our ancestors, they done put poison in the slave master food. Oh, he down. Go tell the slaves and go tell my brothers, my sisters, We can make our run for it. The slave master is down. See, those the ones. Those be those divine beings for real. That's real calculated. That's that benevolent light and dark. Oh, you say what? Oh, so you want to put me in the house because you like what I look like, and You think you gonna have sex with me and stuff? Okay. Go in there like you about to have sex with them. Fuck them up real quick. You know, you done slid one of down. You done slid one of the little knives out the kitchen and under your breast tissue or something. And put it in the crease of your thigh. You know, got it between your booty cheeks. Like, okay. Boom, boom, boom. Shank his ass. Oh, we can go. The coast is clear. Fuck you thought this was. The coast is clear. I'm telling y'all. That's how you gotta be. Sometimes you got to be that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, when they think they're gonna take advantage of you or play you, you play them. You play them. Period. All in the name of righteousness. Excuse me. Yep. And that's what makes us dangerous. True divine beings. True divine masculines and feminines. Because we're benevolent, light and dark. Yin yang. Okay? But we're benevolent in both. Okay? We're not just so caught up in the light that we're naive and green to how to maneuver on through the valley of the shadow of death. So we moving out here with no fear. Because God didn't give me that. That's not of God. If I moved in fear, like what does that say about me? What does that say about my faith in the divine? What does that say about me? So no, you can't bully me into, you feel me, out of my connection with the divine, out of my faith with the divine, you feel me, out of my divine covenant and inheritance. No, you can't bully me. No, you can't gaslit me. No, you can't team up in groups. No, you can't, stalk me, goddamn try to flatten my tire, lie, false statements, try to get me caught up this way. No, you can, no, none of it is going to work. You can do it, but it's not going to prosper because what? No weapon formed against me shall prosper. And that's why they try to wear you down with psychological warfare, emotional warfare. They try to wear you down because their weapons can't really prosper. They can't come and do the job. So they try to get you to do the job and take yourself out. What would I do that for? Y'all feel threatened by me. Y'all feel threatened by the divine collective. Like, why would we take ourselves out? That's unfortunate, but I don't know if you realize, but I got thousands of angels assigned to me. And it ain't them cupids, them little babies that they be showing y'all. No, they ruthless. You didn't realize that one angel can take down a community of demons? So now do y'all understand why y'all team up against one person? Because I know y'all wanted the divine collective to believe that because it was more of y'all against them, that collective is the weakest link. Huh? What? $12.34. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want y'all to get comfortable. For those of you who are like truly sincere in divine beings, I want y'all to get comfortable with people projecting onto you. Okay? Be okay with it. Okay? And the reason why I'm saying this is because whether I have a mod or not, y'all know how people try to bait y'all into bullshit? Do y'all realize that y'all are God's bait? Y'all realize that? So, touch not my anointed. Do my prophets no harm. Right? If somebody insists on doing you any kind of harm, whether that's psychological, emotional, spiritual, you have to let them hang themselves. Let them. Let them. I was having a conversation with my client. For those of you who don't know, I'm a licensed massage therapist. I was having a conversation with a client, and the basis of it was just how we can only control ourselves. We can offer advice, we can offer our presence, you know, we can influence, whatever. But at the end of the day, we can only control ourselves. Okay, we can't control nobody else. So you may try to mend a situation, you may try to heal something, okay? You may try to offer, you know, whatever. It's so crazy. Like, what's the example I use with him? Okay, that's like somebody that's doing cocaine. Let's say you're the person where now you done did your research, or you know, you gathered more research on the short-term and long-term effects of cocaine, okay, and how it's affecting somebody behaviorally, like how, you know, how it is harming them because you love this person. And it's not that the obvious isn't, yo, you probably shouldn't be indulging in that, right? But because there's a community of people who are also going to be like, man, it's not that bad. It give you energy, you know, it keep you up. It's almost like an Adderall. It ain't as bad as what people make it, da da da, because they do it too. Enablers, in most cases, people who are doing something that's bad for them, and they, you know, and they surrounded by people, you feel me, in a lot of cases, who are enabling it, like they're enablers of each other's bad habits. And let's say you're the person with a sound mind and sound counsel, and so you do your due diligence, okay, because you really care about the person. Okay, well, you know how you know how you get real sick, and you know you get nauseated and da da da, like, and I'm just, and you present them this information. What can you do if that person literally does this right here while you're trying to show them the research? They cover their eyes. Even if you snatch it off their eyes, they put it back on there. Now they holding it there. You gonna fight and tussle and possibly get punched in your chin because this person wanna cover their eyes from the truth? Or you gonna let it go? You have to be content with, well, regardless of what happened or whatever the outcome may be, which one of those outcomes could also be you really doing some real damage to yourself. I can have peace in knowing that at least I, you know, put in effort to provide you the information of what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So if grown-ass adults want to get on, y'all, they've been doing this probably ever since YouTube first came out. If grown-ass adults want to get on somebody's YouTube video and, you know, just be delusional and be demonic, okay, I know it's a harsh word, but I mean, if people are suicidal, that's like, man, like, there's so much, you know, to look forward to life. You don't have to do this, bro. Like, you can only control yourself. So if they decide to do that anyway, for example, if somebody tell me to kill myself, they're suicidal 9 times out of 10. It's not funny, but the power of life and death is in the tongue. And if I just don't vibrate on that frequency, but you do, for you to even be in a headspace to say that to somebody, then, you know, me with my seer gifts, like I know how that's gonna manifest for you. You know, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I don't feel like that was a good example, but I am gonna go ahead and go inside. It's getting late. Well, it's definitely already late. I really don't be knowing. Like, I'll come on here having some downloads, and then it'll just go totally different, man. But yeah, people are realizing why you got rejected from some things and why you rejected some things. Okay. Why you was excluded and why you was in actuality set apart from some things. I do want to say this really quick. Man, it seemed like anytime there was a group of people or a group of one or more individuals who call themselves not fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? And just about all those cases, I wasn't fucking with them. I wasn't fucking with them and didn't want to fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? And they needed to portray it as, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy to me. Like this most recent situation, when I was dealing with this dude, mind you, I know the dude, I met the dude, I deal and talk to the dude, not his friends, not his family, not none of them. You know what I'm saying? If y'all don't want to talk to me, get to know me, fuck with me, y'all don't see me trying to kick the door down, get to know y'all like I'm fucking with him. I'm not fucking with y'all. But y'all trying to paint it as, oh, I can't sit with y'all. I'm not trying to sit with y'all. I was trying to sit with him like I was sitting with him. What the fuck? You know, it be like, just let people thrive in their delusion. Okay? Because it's not going to end well. It's not going to end well for them. It never does. I don't got to be 60 years old to know that. I'm 29. And I've seen enough. I've seen it, because it's the same shit. Long before us, it's the same shit repeating itself. Just pay attention. If somebody sabotage you at a job and you lose that job, thank you, God. Thank you guys so much. So what are we doing? Like, what do you have in store for me, God? Like, I'm excited. Like, what you got up your sleeve? What you got up your sleeve, Divine? That's literally like the mentality that divine beings should be in, because it's really like that, literally. I promise you it's like that. I'm living proof that it's like that. Always be in that energy of expecting like surprises and expecting like God to just bombard us with love and you know, not so much focus on the people and the person, but focus on the divine and the seeds that you've sown and the kind of person that you are, you know. Look forward to your blessings, like literally. Fuck what they talking about. Fuck what they talking about. Because misery loves company. Okay? Misery loves company, and misery also loves distractions. Misery also loves pleasure. You know what I'm saying? Misery also loves shiny things. And divine beings, y'all are shiny things. You're a shiny thing. Ain't it crazy how misery would get a taste of a divine being? And once the divine being realized that misery just want to stay, like, you feel me? They just want to remain miserable. And so we do our due diligence and depart from misery. Detach from misery. Okay? From fear, from evil. Because in a lot of cases, misery, or people who are miserable, they're not really living life. Right? Devil, lived, evil, and devil. Okay, let me get away from you. What? And they get so mad. They be so triggered. And they try to destroy you, ruin your life. Like, they be just trying to force themselves in your energy. That's crazy. This might get the raid. Where's the disinfectant? Where's the vacuum? Somebody get the broom in this motherfucker. Damn. Yep. Alright, you guys. I will come back and do another reading tomorrow. Or, you know what? Let me stop. Because, again, I move a certain type of way because people really, like, be trying to plan and plot and do stuff. So, I like to play with them. Because they really be wanting to play. Like, they really be wanting to play. Like, people, you know, people who claim they on demon time, they be trying to play in your life and play in your energy and stuff. They want to play. You want to play? I'll play with y'all sometimes. We can play sometimes. I don't mind playing. You know, I'm very in touch with my inner child. We can play sometimes. Okay. I mean, don't get mad. Don't get mad. You feel me? If I play the game with you and you lose, like, don't get mad. Because you probably going to lose. Because, I mean, I was chilling. I didn't have to play, but y'all wanted to force me to play so bad. Y'all wanted me to play so bad. Now, don't... You should be grateful that I'm playing. That I'm going to play. Just don't throw no tantrum. Y'all going to throw the tantrum anyway, though. But still, if you lose, which you are, but ain't nothing wrong with playing sometimes. Nothing wrong with playing. I mean, but if you playing in my energy, you think you gonna win? Like, that's crazy to me. Like, that's... You should already knew you was not gonna win playing over here. That's why y'all try to get us to come over to y'all territory. But it's stank over there. It's stank over there. I don't want to go over there. It smell like sewage outside. Why it smell like that in y'all neighborhood? Why it smell like that over here? It smell like something died over here. It smell like desperation over here. Like, it smell like demons over here. Like, it smells like STDs over there. I don't want to. Thank God for the divine. You feel me? Like, divine not gonna force us into situations. You feel me? That are, no. I'm gonna stay over here, you know, because it smells like a herbal shop over here. That's why y'all want to come over here so bad. That's why y'all want to play in my... Y'all want to play in my meadow. Y'all want to play in my meadows. Y'all want to play. Y'all want to play in my garden. Y'all remember Lil Wayne said, y'all, what he said? What did Lil Wayne say? I smell her garden. Even when stuff funny. What he say? I can't think of it. Something about the Bible said if a girl was sour, don't play in her garden and don't smell her flower. It's sour over there. The fuck? Nah, I don't even know why I did that example, because I would not be smelling that deeply. Absolutely not. I be smelling myself. Y'all ever do that? Like when you drive through an area and it's just funky over there, but you smell good. So you put like an article of your clothing over your nose, like just to get through. Or maybe your hand, because you smell that good, like, and you just smell yourself to bear through the funk as you get through. Them motherfuckers on Demon Time be real busy. Like, bitch, I did not hire you to come take no honey from over here, bitch. But you go ahead and you spread that shit. You go ahead and pollute. Whatever the fuck. Pollinate. You go over there and pollinate, you know. I'm telling you, and that's exactly what they do. They go and gather people to come up and stalk you and watch you, da da da. Now you got more fans in this motherfucker. You're a fisher of men out here. But thank you. Damn, y'all made my job a little bit easier. I told you that last video, like, shit, we should probably put some of these enemies on payroll. Bad karma for you. Judgment for you. Sickness and disease for you. Death for you. Like, what the hell? Like, it's giving, like, y'all paying for, y'all investing in stock over here. Like, so if you want to invest in bullshit, I mean, yeah, the bullshit can keep cultivating, and here you go. Take your bullshit back. Like, what the hell? Like, it's sad. Like, it's just really sad. Like, eventually they realize what's going on. Eventually they realize what they're doing to themselves. That shit crazy. All right. See you guys next time.